So we are back at the table. I am here with Andrea Jackson. So I heard a little bit of what you were saying on the stage. They was talking about money, y'all. Y'all already know. Yeah, you already know. We're not even gonna go into it. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why are you here today?
Okay, so again, my name is Andrea Jackson. Many people do call me AJ. And so I was invited here today to talk about financial literacy. And so I get excited because I'm an educator, not just an implementer. So, meaning I am licensed to help people in the area of finances, but I take it extremely serious to be able to educate people about money because the challenge is when we don't know how money works and it's absolutely impossible to win that game. And so, again, just very basic steps that we just need to understand so that we can implement. I tell people all the time, knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is power. So, how do we apply this knowledge that we learn? There's information out there everywhere. But the challenge is the information credible? How does it relate to me? And then how do I apply it to make my financial future better? And that's what I do with people every day.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so important because we get lots of information, but it's the application. If you ain't applying it, it don't even matter. Which is why one of the things here at Slant Self Doubt, we always say it has to be some action. We can empower you all day long. We can tell you how to slay your self doubt, but if you are not taking action, it doesn't matter. Which is the word says, faith without works is dead. So if you ain't working, you ain't doing nothing. Okay. So why is it so important for us to have a seat at the table?
So one of the things I'm just like I'm loving the name of your company or your corporation is slaying self doubt. And so the thing is, when it comes to money, the doubt, it's the people even saying, well, I'm here and not even believing that they could get to another space. I believe I got a seat at the table because I'm real. I'm just, I don't have a lot of posturing with me. I'm straight to the point. I think folks can understand when I talk about money because I'm not going to use really big words. Although I can, I don't see what the purpose of that is. Yeah. So I feel like it's such a needed space, but one of the reasons why we don't move forward in that space are doubting ourselves. Can I overcome these things? Am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? When God started placing me in other environments and other circles with people who were very wealthy, I remember feeling some kind of way like, God, how'd I get here? And am I even worthy enough to be in this environment? And people looking at me, and no one ever looking at me. But these are the things that we tell ourselves. A friend of mine, we always joke about the Kermit. Like if you remember the hoodie Kermit. So you're talking, but then your hoodie Kermit is behind you. A hoodie Kermit is be saying,
Yes, yes.
and so when all the stuff like you say, I want to, I'll take for instance, somebody saying, I want to invest. Then hoodie Kermit comes from somewhere and hoodie, you don't do that, you're gonna lose all your money. Keep your money in the bank.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, don't keep your money in the bank.
Right. Because you ain't making
Yeah, you
nothing
just saw you made 10 cents and your money been in there for a year. But
in
hoodie
real
Kermit said,
life.
no, keep your money in the bank. And so, trying to quench those voices, that noise, and trying to help people get to the point where they're actually doing and not just talking about doing.
Yeah. No, I love that because you're right. I always say like self doubt shows up in every area of our lives, and money is one of them, which is the reason why, a lot of times like having those truthful conversations and when you were like, oh, I could use big words, but the Lord say make it plain, write it out so people can read it and run with it. Okay. So if it ain't, you got to make it simple. Okay. Because some of us don't understand, and then they gonna be like, what did she say? I don't know. That was too big for me. So I'm not going to do it. All right. So we have to make it relatable to who we are called to serve. That's the reason why we're doing that. And so for my slayers, okay, how would you encourage them to slay their self doubt?
So I am a huge, huge proponent and believer in affirmations. I went through not a messy divorce. I just got divorced, but I was with him for 24 years. I met him when I was 15. We got divorced at 40. And it was a long process of figuring out who I was. And affirmation saved me. A friend of mine who I talked about in there as well, my mentor, she said to me, you have to physically get yourself out of the space that you are mentally. And the only way you can do that is to mentally get yourself out. And when you mentally get yourself out, then your physical will follow. Yeah. And I did that with affirmation. So I at that time I was living in my sister's lower level. We would call it a basement. I lived in a lower level. And in that lower level, we had our own bathroom. So in that space, I put affirmations all the way around the mirror. And some of them I didn't even believe yet, but I would say them every day. And believe it or not, some people, the things that they can't stay consistent and true with, people that say, well, I start, but then I fall off. It is just vitally that important that you can't, because I had to rewire my brain.
Yeah.
And so, and it worked. And I watched us come out of that space. I watched my business take off. I watched me excel, because every day I will wake up, and to this day I say my affirmations. They've changed somewhat,
Yeah.
but the first one never changed. I'm a winner. That's the first one I say. Every
I'm a
single
winner.
Day I wake up, I say I'm a winner. And so I have to reprogram. I spend all day talking to myself. Why? Because Mr. Kermit is over here saying other things. And I know some people call them ants, the automatic negative thoughts. I am very in tune and intentional about my words. So if I hear something negative come out, so I can pull it back in and reword it and make it positive. But that comes from affirmations, and you can literally change everything you do in your mind by just speaking what you seek.
Yeah.
Because you speak what you seek until you see what you say.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep saying it until it manifests. And that's affirmations.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Somebody told me this year that slaying self doubt is an affirmation. I was like, oh, and then they said, I am slaying self doubt. And I said, well, yes, it is. And yes, we are, right? So that is one of the things that I remind myself, like, I am a walking affirmation, like to remind myself that every time I show up, I am slaying self doubt. This is me. Slaying Self Doubt right here at this table, the Slaying Self Doubt table. Thank you so much for joining us today.